Hey guys, welcome back to the Monday Bitcoin video update where we have a look at how price action has played out over the weekend. I hope everyone's had a great weekend. We certainly have. If you caught Friday's video, you'll see that the Bitcoin short we took has played out really well and that we've already taken 25%, 25% and another 25% out of the trade. Currently locking in over $400. So let's jump into price action today, how things are playing out and if this initial sell-off that we've seen is to be expected. So recapping to Friday's video, we spoke about the fact that Bitcoin's either going to continue to break from the high and then find support on its old all-time high before it can go again, or if we do go into the ABC correction here, just like we did in early 2024, when we've seen Bitcoin actually break from its all-time high that it set in 2021 and then went into this ABC correction here. And that after Bitcoin went into this correction, it moved up into the move that we're having now, and that this entire move that we've seen so far from the end of 2024 to today is just a micro version of this entire price structure over the last 3 years, and that what we're most likely experiencing right now is a much shortened version of the way price reacted last time Bitcoin broke its all-time high at 69,000, and that we grabbed this fractal from this moment right here, which was this moment right here, just on smaller time frames, and that we said that Bitcoin was most likely going to break down in this structure and ABC correct the same way that it did here, and that this fractal was a guide that we were going to follow. And you can see that since we took Friday's short based on the way that price had set the high, sold off and then set the next high here, we've seen similar structures play out where we've seen the initial sell-off, the bounce, and then we've seen a new low get set, another bounce, and then another new low get set just here where we just swept the lows here and set a new low. And now the first part of the structure's been completed, and on our trade we've taken profits at all three of those lows here. You can see with these buyback signals. So what's next for Bitcoin? How's price likely going to play out? And are we going to continue to break down into this structure? And I think it's fair to say that the break to the upside is off the table now, and we are going into an extended period of consolidation. So how long is this going to last for? So we can see in this period here that the consolidation lasts for about 76 days, and that so far what we've had is the initial breakdown and the break, and now we're breaking back into this chop range, which is actually right here for Bitcoins. So last time this happened, it took about 13 days for this to play out, and this has already played out over the course of the weekend, which is like 3 days. Things are happening at just less than 5 times as fast here, but we're seeing similar structures get formed. Even the way we had the triple low get set in here, and now we've bounced straight back to this midpoint here. So if we were to extrapolate the way things have played out today, instead of things taking 76 days, it should take less than 20 days roughly for this consolidation to play out. And we should see similar structures where we do see that ABC correction play out like so. So on the left here we have today's price action, and then you can see on the right side we have the way that it played out in that example that we're referring to, and that we can see that we've actually had those 3 lows and now we've bounced back up into this zone just like we did here, and now we're in this period of consolidation. And what we should see next is a sell-off straight back down to roughly these levels here on the left, and then once we see that bounce back we should see a sweep of these highs, and that's the sweep of the high. So we should see price sell back off to here, come up, sweep the high, set that lower low, break of structure, and then sell off. And that's most likely where we'll look to add to our short once we see 3 different confirmation signals. The first confirmation signal being this low getting tapped in here, and then the sweep of the high being our second confirmation signal. And then we want to see this break of structure and then the rally back up to set a lower high here to add to our short. So just because Bitcoin is most likely going to consolidate in a channel like it did last time here, it doesn't mean you can't make money in a zone like this. So not a whole lot really to say in this update video for Bitcoin today, except that things are playing out exactly the way we spoke about on Friday, and we've seen very similar structure. It's just much more condensed and micro compared to the structure that played out in early 2024, because this is just a miniature version of the entire structure. So we should see this play out much faster. Hopefully by mid to late June, this should be over and we can actually see Bitcoin rally. And then in that moment, we should see the altcoins get taken with it, because so far in the altcoin market, we've seen no expansion and we've seen Bitcoin go and set new highs, yet altcoins still down here in their retracement levels. So now having a look at this on a higher time frame, we can see that we're roughly in this zone here right now, and that we're waiting for that bounce and then the structure to break here, and then that lower high to take us into that short that comes next. And then what we end up seeing after that is actually that B leg come in. We should see that C leg come in, and this should mark the bottom, and this should take us roughly back to this zone of consolidation here before the entire move happened. So as you can see from this structure, the zone we're looking for Bitcoin to actually fall back into is this area here, which by today's structure would most likely be this region here, around $96,000 to $100,000 if price is to react the same way it did back here and ABC correct. So to sum up this sell-off so far, it's great to see the way that price is behaving and that we are seeing so many similarities from this zone that we found comparison in on Friday's video, and that we are going to continue to assume that this is the way price will play out. But instead of this entire consolidation taking 70 days to play out like it did last time, we're going to assume that this time, based on what we've seen so far, that we're already so far into this move in just 3 days, that this entire range should only play out in 2 to 3 weeks, and then we can see that moment where things get exciting. However, very happy that everything is playing out exactly the way that we spoke about in Friday's video, and we'll be back on Friday to talk more about Bitcoin and see how this price structure plays out. And maybe we'll even come back on Wednesday if we can add to our short position in this zone and do that live on the channel. But all in all, this initial sell-off is nothing to be scared about, and it's most likely just the first sign of confirmation that we've had that we're going to go into a prolonged period of consolidation here, and then eventually we can break out and see those new highs and things can get exciting, and the altcoin market can come with Bitcoin this time. Anyways guys, I'll see you in tomorrow's video for the XRP update and how XRP's price is playing out. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe to the channel and leave a like, it helps a lot. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.